Yeah, cheers, Mike. My name's Brian, I'm an addict.
Hi, Brian.
Cool. Wow. You know what? I've been coming here every Monday for the last 5 years, and I truly wouldn't be anywhere else on a Monday night. Although I could quite clearly find places that I like to be. But you know what? I need to be here because I suffer from a truly terrifying addiction that my mind cannot get over. And I found the answer in drinking drugs for nearly 20 years. My story is kind of much the same as everybody else. I always felt separated as a child, really transparent. Always thought I'd have to buy my friends. Never felt I lived up to their expectations and all that sort of thing. But when I found drinking drugs for the first time, I drank to blackout, and god damn, I enjoyed it. For that brief moment, yes, I was in trouble. I didn't care about that. I enjoyed being out of my head, and that's where I tried to stay for all those years. Obviously went through the pattern of drugs like you do, because I'm an addict. You put anything in front of me, I'm going to use and abuse it till I've worn it out. And when I found crack and heroin, they flipped my switches. It's like, yeah, I'm happy with this. But up until that point, I still thought I had control over it. And I didn't believe that my life would go like it did do. And very quickly, I started to rob off my family, hurt the people around me, use and abuse anybody to get what I wanted, and I did not care. However, on the flip side of that, I still look to my family that disowned me, wanting to be like them. I wanted to be a working man, a family man. I wanted to have that sort of life because that's what I saw was good in the world. And I went and had a child in active addiction, and it just didn't cut the mustard. I did not care. She's in the flat or the house, the other side of the bedroom door, and I've got to use the drugs to even deal with her. Screaming ahead. This is the sort of person I am. I put my ex-partner to work for my own doing, so I'm treating her like she doesn't exist. And at no point on my journey did I think any of this was my fault. I always made it about someone else. That's the sort of person I become when I'm using. And when things get really dark and no one's around me, I'm living on the streets, and I just can't, I'm just stuck in it, and no one's helping me, I check into a treatment centre, because that's all I know, and that's where my mind's at. If I just remove myself from the drink and drugs, surely life's got to get better, but it doesn't, because trust me, I've repeated that umpteen times, and it never worked. Because when I'm clean and sober, without a program, my head is a mess. The world isn't a nice place to be. I can't work it out, and I'm scared. So I just go back to drinking and using, because it's the only thing that I know how to do with ease, because it gives me that ease and comfort that I want. So like I said, I bounced in and out of treatment centres, always on a script, constant state of detox, trying my way. And it wasn't until my last treatment centre that I was in there for the same sort of reasons I went in there before. Life was hell, miserable, sat in my flat, on by myself, no one around me again. So I check in. Going through the process of that treatment centre, I had that internal break. because I'd realised that my life was crap, absolutely miserable inside. And they showed me the rooms of CA, this treatment centre. I look back now and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. But back then it wasn't. I was getting told to go to meetings, which I really didn't want to go. I'm still detoxing. It's like, you've got to give me a chance here. Give me a chance to get through this period sort of thing. But no, they told me to go. But you know what? And eventually I was going, and I started hearing stuff that I hadn't heard before. People were clean. They were living good lives, I mean, and these people were only like 30 days. It's just like, how did you do that? That's just impossible. That was impossible. But I came out of that treatment centre full of fear, because I knew what I was going back to. However, I'd met some people that were working the programme, and that's how I ended up over here. Because I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I knew there was something and they had it, and I was going to try it, because damn well I wasn't going back to my way of life. I'd been there, I'd done it, and it was disgusting. I didn't like it. So I thought I'd give this a go. Didn't believe it would work, but I came over here, and these people wrapped themselves around me. They would not leave me alone. They told me, I'm screwed. You're going to use whether you damn well like it or not. However, we've got a solution for you, and it's in the 12 steps. I got myself a sponsor, and he gave me a list of suggestions that, it's like, mate, drop me out. I've got a serious case here, but you know what? It was a set of simple spiritual actions that I started taking, and very, very quickly that obsession lifted from my head. And this man saw I meant business. So he took me through the 12 steps, and it's an amazing experience. Yeah. I found out some stuff about myself, found out what I'd done to people. Didn't like some of it, but I needed to hear it, because, like I said, I never thought I had a problem with anybody. I thought I was a nice person going through the world. Didn't hurt no one. I did. Went out and made some fantastic amends. I made an amends to my gran. She's passed away now, and she never thought she'd see me clean. This woman looked after me. That conditional love that I didn't think existed. She looked after me. Christ, I thought I'd pull in the wool over her eyes at one point, because I'm sleeping on the streets, going around her house at 6 o'clock in the morning, stinking, and she's letting me have a bath in her house. I'm thinking I'd pull in the wool over her eyes. She knew, and I've only recently found that out. This is how the mind can be. I know today that I suffer from a threefold illness, and that's simply an obsession of the mind, an allergy of the body, and my spirit was completely, absolutely dead. I was permanently miserable all the time. I wasn't happy at any given point in time, and today I'm nowhere near that. I haven't thought about seriously about taking drugs or drink for 5 years now. Don't get me wrong, I'm a human being, I've got a mind that thinks, but it's not an overwhelming obsession to go and do it. I'm able to work today and actually stay in one job for more than a year. And you know what? I'm having a cracking time in CA. I've had the best moments of my life, especially in my home group. I've never known anything like this at all. It was so alien to me to come into this sort of world. But you know what? I did it because I was so desperate and dying that I had no other answers. But I've got some amazing friends today. I'm with a woman that I love dearly. She even agreed to marry me. God. Don't know who's the bigger idiot, but hey ho. Yeah. I put my recovery above absolutely everything. Above my work, above my home life, absolutely above everything, because this is the most important thing in my world. If I don't have this in place, I don't have the rest of it. I go straight back to how I was. And do you know what I like about this is I see people coming in, getting on board and watching their lives grow from that real dark place that I was in before. I remember being at the other end of the table when I just come in, and I remember that being crippled by that fear, but today I'm able to deal with that stuff. You know, I'm not afraid to go anywhere. I can go anywhere. I went on holiday last year for the first time in my life out in the actual country. First time in my life. And I'm doing meetings in another country. That's just amazing. That I can go anywhere. I don't have to be tied down. Through going through the steps, I've got my family back in my life. My mum and dad, my mum and dad are proud of me, and my dad's happy to have me back in the family. This man disowned me. He didn't even want to think or speak my name. Now I can walk over the threshold of their door, uninvited, and they're not telling me to get lost. Yeah, it's amazing. I've been able to be there for my family. I always thought I was so selfish and self-centered that I wouldn't be, or I was all about me. But today I can be there for my family. I watched my nan and my gran on their deathbeds. I was able to be there and support my mum through all that. There is so much available to people. You've just got to put in the actions. This is all about actions, this programme. You are not going to get this sat on your arse. You have to get up and do this. Because going through the process of the 12 steps, I've got connected to something that's much greater than me. I've got connected to a power that I like to choose God, and I can see him working in my life. However, I have to do something for him. Yeah, faith without works is dead. And I truly believe that, because the man he shows off constantly. And then he'll take the piss out of me sometimes as well. Just means I've got to work a bit harder. Yeah. I ain't perfect at this. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting up here going, yeah, it's all hunky-dory. Sometimes I have to truly work at it. I mean, I dropped it out for an entire month when I was first around. And things went downhill quickly, very, very quickly. Things got messy. Yeah? And that's a very dark place to be. So I have to be honest today. Everything I do kind of goes against the grain of what I grew up with. But it's always work in progress. I love it. I can't think of much else to say. I'm just so overwhelmed that I'm actually 5 years clean. I really am. Because I pinch myself with the life that I've got. I truly don't believe. I don't deserve it. It's not my doing. It's something working in my life and giving me the strength to carry on. Because don't get me wrong, I've sat there and thought, do you know what? What's this all about? I could have a day off, surely. Surely a day off. But I've tried it and it's not nice. So, yeah, I'm going to say what I was told when I first come in. This was guaranteed for me to work for me. And I'll guarantee it to the newcomer in the room. Do as you're told for the first time in your life. and you'll get the results that we all speak about. And that's exactly what I did. Because I didn't listen to no one. I knew everything. But today I don't know nothing. Yeah? I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Thank you, Brian. Because of the